Good morning. Hey, I would rather not use this thing. I have to? Okay. All right. Okay, I'll use it, but on one condition. If everybody moves in a little closer. We all need warmth. We need each other's presence because, and we need characters like him. Yeah, that's good. Robert's one of my best friends. And when Robert asked me to come speak to you guys this morning, I didn't have to think twice about it, because the last time I spoke to you all, it really did a lot to my heart. Because I can see how hard you guys work each and every moment to try to do the best that you can with the things that you have. And really, in some respects, I'm jealous of what you have. And that is that you take advantage of all the things that are available to you to do everything you can to live your lives. I know Robert through our church, New Life Wesleyan Church in La Plata, Maryland. And if you don't mind, I'd like to start with a short, brief prayer. I know that a lot of you are from different types of denominations and worships and beliefs, but it just helps me to set the mood straight. So if you don't mind, I'd just like to do a brief prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity to speak to this group. These people are your children, and I know you love them, and you've given them a unique set of abilities to honor you, Lord. Please help me in working with them and helping them with things that will help them to do the best they can with the resources that they have available. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I'm a registered investment advisor with Transamerica Financial Advisors. I do investment planning, life insurance planning, and I help, basically, what I do is help people put their financial houses in order. Now, I realize that you guys are from diverse backgrounds and diverse financial statuses and diverse needs. So for me to attempt to sit here and go through a canned type of presentation, I might put you to sleep, and it would be of little or no value to 3/4 of you. So I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is I want to ask you guys what's important to you. What questions do you have about finances? What things do you need to know more information about? I'll get to you in 1 second. And so that's how we're going to do things. Now, at the end of our session, if you are interested in meeting with me, I will be more than glad to set up an appointment with you. You can come to my office in La Plata, Maryland, or if you win the Booby Prize, I'll come to you as long as you're in state or in the tri-state area. I won't be able to go to New York. So let's get started. Who has something on their mind? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I lost my job. I got unexpected. They out me out, and I have $20,000, or now about $18,000 in credit card debt. A lot of people have told me to declare bankruptcy, and I used to do Spenders and Debtors Anonymous just to try to learn how to have a monthly budget, and they live on a cash basis as a spiritual thing. And do you recommend declaring bankruptcy? I said not for $19,000 credit card debt. I mean, but I pay $400 a month out to the credit cards. So I think now that I've lost my job, it'll be hard for me to get a new card. But Dave Ramsey, I have friends that follow Dave Ramsey, and he says never declare bankruptcy. And so anyway, what do you advise? Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Okay, well, I'll address that. What about anybody else? I want to get a few of them so I can try to address them together. Do you have anything?
What's the best kind of stock to buy? Or
Kind of what?
government bonds or stock? Because I got money that my parents left me when they died about, 15 years ago they died. They left me a lot of money. I got a lot of money in government bonds, but I wonder if I should move it to something better. Or
So what he was asking for is what type of investments would I recommend? Anybody else?
How much savings should we give people with disabilities, not stable life people have, but people with disabilities should we have, on hand or emergency? Should it be double what an able-bodied person has?
Hey, Barry, if you could talk a little bit about as we get older and as we're going toward the retirement age, about maintaining some type of income so we can maintain our level of life that we know. Because we all deal with retirement, we all deal with losses in the market or losses elsewhere. So if you could just address that.
Okay. Well, this is what I'm going to do. From what you've said, you've kind of fallen right into what really this is what I do, what this is all about. When I put this book together called Putting Your Financial House in Order, the whole idea of it was designed to help people put all the things that were important to them together so that when there was a need, either death or they're going to their lawyer or to their accountant or to somebody that was going to help them, that they could find all their important papers. So that kind of was the impetus that put this book together. And I'm just going to review this. And as I review it, I'm going to answer some of the questions and the concerns that were brought out, okay? Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah. Okay. The first section in this book is called Personal Documents. How many know where all your important papers are? Or somebody takes care of it for you? Okay. It's really important that you know where those papers are, okay, and that you keep them in a place where you can have access to them. It's also real important that you have access to their names, birth dates, social security numbers, so in case of an emergency, you know where all that information is. That's what one of the sections in this book is. Also, wills, trusts, and power of attorney. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have power of attorneys so that others can take care of things for you.
I do.
Good, good. But also, with whoever did that for you, you should have some kind of will that so that when something happens to you, whatever assets you do have go to the correct place. And it's be probably a good idea for all of you in here to have an attorney review whatever documents you have of that. You know, your trust arrangements, to make sure they're up to date with the current laws, to make sure they're taking advantage of the current tax situations. Okay? I know a lot of that might be up here over your head. And I'm not suggesting that you try to understand it. What I'm suggesting is that you have somebody that knows what they're doing review it. Okay? Mortgage, taxes, and deeds is the next section. How many of you all own your own home? The bank owns it, okay. But do you have your papers for your mortgage in a place where you'd be able to grab them? Really, when you get a loan from the bank, you get documents that are that thick. And there's only a few documents that you really need to keep in a place that you can access quickly. And I mentioned those in this book, and they are your deed, your note, and your settlement sheet. And those things are important. Taxes, you should have the most 2 current years of your tax returns accessible, deeds to any property that you own, and titles to any vehicles that you own. Work benefits. Who in here has work benefits? Benefits that you have from work. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Are they in a handy place where you can access them? So you know exactly what they are and what... I imagine most of you do, because that's something that's important to you guys, is what your benefits are. But that's important that you keep them in a place that's accessible and other people can get a hold of them so they can make sure you're getting the benefits that are due to you. Anybody military in here? Okay. Social Security. All of you probably have dealt with Social Security on some level. And it's very important that you keep this information in an accessible place so that if you have any questions or there's any problems, you can do something. You can make sure that you do something about it. Your acceptance letters, each year you get an update. You need to make sure you keep those handy. Okay. Here we go to answering some of these questions and some of these things that you guys have mentioned. Budget. Who keeps a budget in here? Okay. Everybody hates, not everybody, but most people hate the word budget. Wouldn't you agree? Nobody really likes to talk about a budget. Budget to me, believe it or not, means freedom. Okay? And you know why I say that? Because if you know how much you have, then you know that you can obtain the things that you want by scaling down on certain things. So in the book that I created, I put together a step-by-step process of making a budget. And the best way I've seen to make a budget is to do a 5-week process of keeping track of everything that you're spending. And by doing that, what happens is you find out what things you really don't need. And it also helps you so that when you do put together your budget, where can you cut back? Okay? For things like scaling down your debts. Now, probably the most important thing, and I skipped over this and I shouldn't have, is what is the most important thing in the world to you guys? That's what drives you. Wouldn't you agree? And a lot of times we get away from what the most important thing in the world to us is because we let life take over. And life has a nasty way of taking over. But when we want to achieve something and we have a goal in mind, I bet you every one of you has achieved a major goal because they put their mind to it. Is there anybody in here that hasn't achieved a major goal that they put their mind to? Because we as human beings have a unique ability. And that ability is that if we want something bad enough, we'll get it. Now, whether it's the best thing for us is another story. But we have that ability to do that. My point is that if you plan to achieve a goal, then you'll achieve it. Now, most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So it's really important, number one, to know what you want. And number two, to have some goals of what you actually want to achieve. Of course, the third part is making the objectives of how to get there. But if you don't have a goal in mind, you're not going to get there. Have you ever gone on a trip in a car to a faraway destination? Did you get in the car and just go, or did you have a map of how you were going to get there? Or you probably had a GPS, okay? But you had a way to follow some type of plan to get there. In your lives, how many of you have a plan to get to where you want to get? How many of you actually have thought about where you really want to be? Okay, that's what I mean. Not everybody. So that's something that's really important. Okay? Now back to debts. Is it Harley? Haley. I'm sorry, I can't see that far. Oh, you'd like to ride a Harley. Well, that's a goal. Haley mentioned about having a lot of debt because of losing her job. Now, there's the best thing to do about that. Number one is to list all the debts that you have so you know exactly what you owe. Then visit with some type of planner that doesn't charge you a fee, that isn't working for any kind of credit card, even if it's through your church, somebody that will sit down with you and help you get some advice. Okay? Because some of the things that you can do are to call all those creditors and to work out payment arrangements. Because in your case, Haley, if you wanted to go through bankruptcy, there'd be nothing stopping you. The court would probably, most likely, would award you relief. Okay? And they know that. So you can work that out without doing it that way. And if it comes to that, is it totally the wrong thing to do? Well, if they're unwilling to work with you, and it's not going to enable you to be a productive person, then I see nothing wrong with it. Okay? But the avenues to take would be to sit down with somebody that can help you put it all together, find what is affordable to you so you can afford it, and to help you put together a plan, and then to talk to your creditors about it. Okay. How many of you believe we're in a great economy right now? Nobody.
No, that's a trick question.
Okay, is this a good time to invest? If you have money? In what you invest. Okay. And how old you are? How much time you have to retirement? As Robert was talking about? Okay. Now, yes, right now is a great time to invest because the market is one of its lower points. I brought with me today this right here. Anybody that wants a copy of it, raise their hand, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it. Okay. Anybody else? It is. It shows you. I only have 15 of them. It shows you what's happened in the market from 1926 to the present day. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. Oh. Sorry about the running around. Everybody else deserted me because I had you close together. And they know I'll move around. I'm like the ever energy bunny. I got it right side up. No, I got it upside down. Yeah. Oh, did I got yours upside down? Okay, no. Yeah, I do. There you go. Can you see it now? Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else want one of these? Okay. What's so great about this is it shows you what the market's done since 1926. Now, if you look at this, you can see that the market goes up over time. Everybody see that? Okay. It also, at the top of it, it shows you who was president. It shows you what the inflation was doing. Okay, it shows you what inflation does. It shows you what all the market indicators do. Okay? What's so telling about that is that the investments are going to go up. They're not going to go down. Over time, they're going to go up. Because if they don't go up, then our whole economic system is going to fail. Okay? And we can't live our lives thinking that everything's going to fail. We have to look at it in a positive light. So if you look at it that way, you know that over time you're going to succeed with your investments. But you also see by this that it goes up and down and up and down. And if you're getting close to retirement or close to when you need those funds, you can't afford to take a lot of risk with them. So it's not really, when people talk about risk aversion, have you heard that term, or willing to take risk? It's really not a matter of whether you're willing to take risk. It's how much time do you have before you're going to need those funds. Because if you have enough time, you can afford to take risk because ultimately it's going to go up. So as you get closer to retirement, you need to become more conservative so that you don't get caught with your pants down. I don't feel too bad for financial planners that had their clients that were over 55 years old 100% in stocks, because they shouldn't have been in there. I don't care how good the economic times were, because they shouldn't have put all their eggs in that basket of trying to get the most. Diversification is the key, another key to your financial success. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and you want to be aware of how much time you have until you're going to need those funds. Does that help everybody?
So you want to be in the red and not the blue?
Okay.
What's the difference between red and blue?
Well, Christine was asking about the different colors. You really have to look at this chart because the different colors are they appear to be different things. So look at it real carefully, Christine. They deal with different things. One area is talking about who's the president of the country, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And if you look at this, you could see that back in 1932, if you look at it, that our president was Roosevelt. And Roosevelt was, in a lot of cases, people say, a socialist type of president. You bring it up to the present day, and we have a president that has a lot of socialistic policies. And the mirror of this is very, very telling. And what I mean by that is history repeats itself. We go through cycles, and we're going to continue to go through cycles. So don't let all these fancy advisors that get on TV and say, we're going to move this way because of this, or we're going to move this way because of that. Don't get so overwhelmed by that or take their word to the bank. What you really need to understand is just the general principle that over time things are going to go up, but things are going to fluctuate along the way. So you need to be in a position of being prepared for them. That's what this book that I put together helps. Now, I think I addressed so where do you put your investments? Do you put them all in bonds? Do you put them all in stocks? Do you put them in mutual funds? Do you put them in variable annuities or annuity? There's so many different types of investments that you could go blind thinking about them all. What you want to do is be diversified, and you want to, if you're young, you want to be more aggressive. Or if you're older, closer to when you need that money, you want to be less aggressive. But nowhere along the line do you want to be not diversified. You always want to be diversified. You can be in one investment, but the investments within that investment must be somewhat diversified. So you're not counting on all one thing. Does that help? All right. Insurance. Does anybody have any questions about insurance? Life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance? Yes.
Yeah. I only have Medicaid and Medicare. And it is hard to find doctors who will accept my insurance.
Okay. So what Eileen is saying is, because of being on Medicare and Medicaid insurance, it's hard to find the right doctors. And unfortunately, that's out of my field. And I'm sorry. I can explain how insurance works. I can explain how investments work, but explaining how to find a doctor that you can go see, I would be just as good as somebody else that isn't knowledgeable in that area. That's not my expertise. I'm sorry. Does anybody have questions about their property insurance? No? Yes.
I'm not a pro at this, but having just gone through a fire, what is usual coverage for a disaster and what won't they cover?
Okay. James's question is very, very telling and very, very important, That is, you have, if you own a home or you own a car, you have auto insurance or homeowner's insurance. Now, you pay a lot of money. It's not free, the insurance. You pay a lot of money for that. Okay? One of the things that I point out in this book that I have here is that you need to know what it covers. You need to know, make sure your policy covers for disasters that are going to happen. So to answer your question, James, there's too many variables that go into that to be able to answer it. But what's good for you may not be the best thing that's good for Ellen. Okay? And vice versa. So you need to look at your policy, go over it with the person that sold it to you or with somebody else, and have them explain it to you to make sure it covers what you need it to cover. Okay? I know that doesn't answer your question, but it gives you direction of how to answer your question. Health history, you all have health history. You should have your health history in a binder so that somebody can make sure that they're taking care of you the right way. Okay? That should be in this binder or in a binder that you keep with it. Let's see. We've been talking a lot about investments. Does everybody have a place where they have everything that's in their wallet copied? You, especially you guys, you can't afford to have lost your wallet or lost your purse and not know what was in it. So, recommendation, copy everything that's in your wallet. Keep it in a safe place, like this book, so that if it's ever stolen or you ever forget where you put it, that you can be able to call the right people or use some of that information while you're having it replaced. And last in this book is a checklist, and the checklist deals with when you die. What things do you want to make sure are taken care of? Who do you want contacted? Making sure your family is taken care of. Yes?
I have a life, right now, my life insurance I have is when I reach 62, it's supposed to drop down to $13,000. I just wanted to cover my death and burial because I didn't think my family was going to do it. And I know some people who were killed for money. I know it sounds bad, but I didn't want them to profit from my death. So is $13,000 enough for a funeral and a burial and plot maintenance or whatever? I mean.
Okay. Haley's question is a really good question. How much is enough for your final expenses for life insurance? Well, $13,000 right now, Haley, is probably enough. But 20 years from now, it's not going to be enough. Okay? It's not. Most of it's not. But remember, you have other assets. You have other assets. Your retirement grows, but you're going to be using that. You got to remember, this chart helps you to see what inflation is averaged. Inflation is averaged 3.1%. Anybody heard of the rule of 72? I'm going to teach you something really new to take with you. If you take the number 72 and divide any number into it, and we're talking about interest here now, if you divide 3 into 72, how many times does it go? 24 times. Okay? So every 24 years, things are going to double. So what costs $13,000 today, it's going to cost $26,000  24 years from now. Okay? So that should help you to realize that, yeah, you're going to need more money down the road, not only to retire, but to take care of your final expenses and other things. So what can you do if you only have so much life insurance? You can prepay for some of those things. Okay? Or put money into a fund, into an annuity just for that purpose. There's all kinds of ways that you can plan if you prepare, that you can take care of the needs that you need to have if you prepare for them, called planning. Now here's where I'm going to give a free appointment away. So listen closely, okay? All my appointments are free. If you come to me, it's free, okay? Because I do counseling for anybody that walks in my office. But I'll come to you, okay? Here's the question. There are 7 roadblocks that we all encounter in our financial planning, okay? The first one is, I better make sure you guys made me not think. I know them by heart, but I don't want to miss any. Second page. Okay. Ignorance is number 1. No goals is number 2. Debt is number 3. Inappropriate investments is number 4. Inflation is number 5. Taxes is number 6. And procrastination is number 7. Now, all those are roadblocks that you have to confront in taking care of your finances and your financial planning. I help all my clients deal with those things. Now, along the way today, we talked about something that I just mentioned here, and I want you guys to tell me, or somebody to tell me, which one of those needs to be done first before we can effectively deal with all the other ones. Anybody? Which one is it? Is it ignorance? Is it no goals? Is it debts? Inappropriate investments? Inflation, taxes, or procrastination? Which one is it? Sorry, that's not right. Ignorance, I'm sorry, that's not right. Procrastination isn't right. Come on, there's only 4 left. Oh, come on. You guys don't have... Bingo, Ellen. No goals. You know why? Here, what did I say? People don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. Okay? If you don't have goals, then you're going to be ignorant to what you're trying to achieve because you're going to go around in circles because you don't even know where you're going. If you have no goals, you're going to make inappropriate investments because you're not making your investments thinking about where you want to go. If you have no goals, you're not going to take advantage of tax strategies. If you have no goals, you're not going to take care of making sure you combated inflation. If you have no goals, then why would you get started? Procrastination. So, no goals is the key. So, Ellen, all you need to do is call me, arrange an appointment with me, and I will come to you. You live in the Maryland, Virginia area, right? Virginia. I will come to you. All you here. You call me, and I will come to you. Okay? Now, I have a couple books over there that I give to each and every one of my clients, each and every one of the person that meets with me. If you meet with me, you get one of these books. And these books help you put things together. Now, you're welcome to take a look at them. I know that lunch is coming up. I know that I'm putting this guy to sleep. I was just going to see if we could get him to snore in the microphone. I'm giving you a hard time, Mike. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Now I understand. It's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that you guys had to deal with. Any other questions? No other questions?
Body, you have it. Let's see. Body organ donation. My husband and I are both planning to do that. How much do you? I know it costs money. How much do you think it would cost for body donations?
Okay.
Margaret.
Margaret's question was about body organ donations. Okay, first of all, if you want to do body organ donations and you don't have a living will, but you have a driver's license and you have that you're an organ donor, that isn't going to hold up, because if your family doesn't want to give your organs away, they won't. You need to have something in writing. So if you don't have a living will, make sure that's done first. Now, how much does it cost? It's probably going to cost the same as it would in any other instance, depending upon whether you're cremated or buried. To give your bodies away.
Give us, to science.
Oh, everything to science.
Right.
Okay. Boy, that would be no. I was going to make a joke.
Both of us have problems, and it would be nice to let somebody in the scientific world try to figure out why our bodies react to what it is.
It will definitely not cost as much as it would to bury somebody, because you're not going to be buried. It would just be taking care of having a memorial service. And I think that who you'd be donating to would take care of the transportation.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I think there would be very little cost involved in that. The only cost that you would need is you probably want to have some kind of memorial, a place where you could have your name or a plaque or something like that, so that your family could recognize you. And
We weren't even planning for that. It was just memorial service at a church, and body disposed. We're not going to have like a little monument.
well, this is I'm glad you brought this up, because I'm a director of a cemetery called Wesleyan Memorial Gardens as well for my church. I didn't bring that up because it wasn't necessary to my talk. But I think what most of us don't keep in mind is funerals aren't for the people that died. They're for the people that we leave behind. So everything that you do in planning for your funeral or for your death is about the people that you leave behind. So keep that in mind. If you love these people that you're leaving behind, you may want to provide them a way to mourn for you. Okay? Just a thought. I mean, sometimes we don't think about these things because nobody brings them to our attention. Any other questions? My phone number is on the sheet that says putting your financial house in order, the top sheet that was given out to you. And I gave you one of my cards, and you're welcome to ask me for one of my cards. You're welcome to call me and ask me any question that you like. No question is a bad question. Okay?
Obituary report, is that just what you want written down in a newspaper?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of this is just making it easier for your family. Really, if you have this book done, you have done you a wealth of a favor during your life that you will use over and over and over again, and you've done something for your family that that you can't even put a price on. You've made their lives easier, and nobody, when somebody passes on, likes to really deal with these types of situations. And if you can make it easier, the more the better. Anything else? Well, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks. Everybody get one of these?